first of all, I never thought I'd see this day, that I'd be retiring from the Screen Actors Guild. When I first came here, I came as a temp from Stivers, and when they told me I was coming to the Screen Actors Guild, I thought, wow, here's a chance to get my movies made. I had some movies that I wanted to get made, and I was a man on a mission. Well, still have those movies that I want to get made. I'm still a man on a mission, but in the meantime, I did learn a trade that I never really had too much experience at before I came here. The one class that helped me probably more than anything in school was in junior high. I had a typing class. And the reason I took the typing class was that, first of all, it was pretty much all girls in the class. That was the main reason to do that. But it turned out to be probably the most valuable class I ever had, because I learned how to type about 40 words a minute there. And my late mother was a very good typist. She could type 100 words a minute and did shorthand. And one of the things I discovered when I went to apply for the permanent job, when I came there was an opening for a permanent job, and but it required, besides the typing test, it required shorthand. And I didn't know how to do shorthand, but someone said, if you can write fast, oh, okay, I can write fast, but if anybody's ever seen my hand,
I won't miss that.
it's a good thing I can remember what I wrote, usually. A day goes by, and of course, it's garbage. But for some people, it doesn't take a day. But the day that I went to take the test, we were at the KBIG building, and there was a homeless person out in front going like this, praying to the building, and I took that as a good sign. I was going to need the help. And it worked. I didn't pass the test. And I guess the best way to describe my job, it's kind of like Uma Thurman and Kim Kill Bill 2. She was walking up towards the master with these big buckets on her arm. And instead of buckets, I got these heavy phones. Very, very heavy phones. But there's one thing about the phones. I mean, if you get frustrated with some of the members, granted that sometimes they can be a little difficult, and they're kind of like potted plants in a way. Just sort of, a lot of people are like that. They consider themselves to be, they're potted plants, but they consider themselves to be the gardeners, but they're really just potted plants. And if you nurture them with a little bit of understanding and compassion and a little knowledge of the job, it's not so bad. It makes things better for everyone. And you just got to hope that you're not watering these plants. If you're watering them, you just got to hope you're not watering poison ivy. In most cases, you're not. You're not doing that. The thing about this job, I left in '85. I came and I left after a short while, and towards the end of '85, and not too many people that were here. I don't think Ann knew why I left. Really knew why I left. It was because of Live Aid. I felt that I needed to do something. I felt that I wasn't really doing what I should be doing, and so I thought I could help in some way, but I guess I didn't see the right people, and things didn't work out. So I came back to SAG after a couple of months, and I've been here since. And I thank God that I was brought back here, because as stressful as this job has been at times, 4 years before I came to work here, I was homeless myself. I was living on the street in Venice. I went 13 days without eating, and intentionally on my part. It was my form of insanity, I guess. But actually, that was 2 years before I came back. 4 years before I started, it was even worse. 4 years before I started here, I tried to commit myself to a mental institution, 2 of them in one day.
Too many questions.
distinction in both instances. One they took the final seat while I was being interviewed, and so they asked me if I'd like to go to the San Bernardino County one instead. And I said, well, okay. I knew that was not the place to go. But I was doing it not because I didn't think I was crazy, which is not a good sign. I still don't think I'm crazy. It's still not a good sign, but I managed to survive. The second person that I saw was the wrong person. It turned out to be the right person, and they wouldn't accept me. They said that this place wasn't a boarding house, and so they let me go. And it's a good thing I wasn't accepted there, because if I'd been accepted there, I wouldn't be here today. I probably wouldn't be anywhere, or at least not in this body. One of the neat things about this job is that you get to meet celebrities on the phone or in person. And you know, it's kind of a kick to me. I mean, I've met some of my favorite people, like the late Robert Cummings. I got to talk to him on the phone. And when I was growing up, he was in a movie that was one of my favorites of all time called Heaven Only Knows, also known as Montana Mike. And he plays an angel coming down to convert a bad guy, reform a bad guy named Brian Donlevy, or played by Brian Donlevy. And near the end of the movie, there's this little boy that wants to go with Mike wherever he's going. He doesn't know where he's going. And the mother looks at Mike, and Mike nods, yes. Robert Cummings nods like this, and the mother realizes it's time for that kid to die. So she lets the kid get on the coach, and they go around the bend and up into the air. It's kind of a neat movie. You don't never see that on TV anymore, but it's a real good one. And I did get to speak with him just not too long before he died. And another person that I got to speak with just before he died was the late Rick Jason. I used to watch Combat a lot. Combat was one of my favorite TV series. And it's not because it was about war, because it really wasn't about war. It took place in a war setting, but it was not about war. It was about character. And if you get a chance to see that show and you haven't seen it, it's playing now on Action, on cable, on the Action channel. It's worth watching. There's some wonderful performances by a lot of well-known people now. James Whitmore did a good one, and all sorts of stars that get their start on Combat. And of course, like Vic Morrow was one of the stars, the regulars of the show. But Rick Jason played Lieutenant Ham, and he reminded me of my older brother Jack. Actually, physically looks like him. Another person I got to hear on the phone and talk to was Jimmy Boyd, which most of you never heard of Jimmy Boyd, but I think I saw Monty kissing Santa Claus, I think was his big hit. And then I got to meet James Garner. I said hi to James Garner in the elevator, which was a thrill. And he's not as tall as I thought he was. And then I got to ride down in the elevator with Deborah, and I got to ride down with Little Richard not too long ago, which was really neat. I love Little Richard's music. Me and my sister and brothers, we all grew up with that good old-time rock and roll. And Little Richard was one of the greats of that era. He's still great, still good music. Got to talk to Cliff Robertson and told him how much I liked his music, and he liked that. And Barry Gordon, I got to go to lunch with Barry Gordon once, which was a pleasure. And Will Showard, who comes by here. Bill Showard is one of the nicest men you ever want to know. And I loved his shows on Dobie Gillis. He was one of the teachers on Dobie Gillis. And I grew up watching Dobie Gillis. I got to actually talk with Bill Showard. He's a wonderful man. And Angel Tompkins, I got to meet her. It's a kick being able to meet all these people. I don't know, most of you probably don't know that I also write song lyrics, and I'm a BMI affiliated songwriter. Well, Friday night a lyric came through me, and I'd like to share it with you. It's kind of apropos of it right now. I will need my glasses for it. I can't remember any things. I write them, and then that's it. That's all they do. They just go through me. This is number 0579. I numbered them ever since I started writing them as a kid. I started at 0001, figuring I'd get to 1,000 someday. And I don't think I'm going to make it to 1,000, but I'm at 579, so more than halfway. It's called Whose, Where's, and Why's. A Lonesome Kind of Love was the first song I wrote. It was written just for Shelley, though I couldn't sing a note. The words were pretty trite, but the feelings were all too real. Little did I know that night what the future would reveal. Many lonely lyrics and many a more sad song. Tales of tears and tragic years with nowhere to belong. The night is just a shade to hide my aging eyes. Details of my heart tell the who's, where's, and why's. A lack of love was next that would drive me insane. And though Shelley was the heartache, I had my only me to blame. The seeds of suicide with the suffering much too strong pulled me down the drowning tide, and it hurt so very long. Many lonely lyrics and many a more sad song, tales of tears and tragic years with nowhere to belong. The night is just a shade to hide my aging eyes. The details of my heart tell the who's, where's, and why's. The third song that I wrote was a sign, to be sure. It was different than the others. It was up and so much more. The truth of why I'm here would be put in my hand that day. All above this land of ours was the song to point the way. No more lonely lyrics, nor many a more sad song. Gone are tears and tragic years with nowhere to belong. The day has come to shine the sun on youthful eyes. The details of my heart tell the who's, where's, and why's. I'd like to end this with one little tale about, I mentioned about the homeless part. And an incident happened when I was homeless on Easter Sunday. It was April 11th, the same year, same day the Easter came on, the same date that it came on this year, in '82. And I was in front of, near the Sidewalk Cafe, and there was this black dog that had been tied up outside by the restaurant just near the Sidewalk Cafe. These two girls were in eating breakfast, and it was raining. And so I had my little blue umbrella. And I went over and I covered the dog. The dog was kind of big and the umbrella was small, so I got kind of wet and caught a cold after that. But finally, the two girls came out, and they didn't say anything to me, you know. And the name of the dog, by the way, is Princess. I saw the name on the name tag. Anyway, they went on their way. I don't know if they were too embarrassed to thank me or what, but I kind of compare myself to that dog that was in the rain, and I kind of compare Screen Actors Guild with the umbrella of shelter for the last 20 years that I've felt. And unlike the girls in the cafe that didn't say I thank you, I do thank you very much.